Bulavinaka, my name is Litia and I'm from the beautiful island of Laos and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rock.
My name is Casey, I'm from Tabua. We love Today FM in Tabua. Today FM rocks.
My name is Selena, I'm from Tavenga Vengamba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Pula, my name is Carlo. I love listening to the music in Today FM, in Malak Island. Today FM rock.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, police warn keep out of politics. Better health services for rural northern residents. And PM opens major advancements in Kumbalambua.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Smith.
Police officers are not allowed to engage in politics. This was the statement made by Chief of Operations ACP Rusia Tetunravu as the force mapped out its operation plans for the upcoming general elections. Ali Kimbia has more.
Police officers have been reminded to remain neutral under the law during the election period.
Police officers are not allowed to engage in politics. We are apolitical. Our role here is just to support the government of the day on what is provided to us through the supervisor of elections under the law. That is what we are prepared so far.
The force will do whatever it takes to ensure that law and order is maintained at all times.
I can state to you that our preparation is well underway in terms of manpower and other logistics that we have. So we are gearing towards that. Part of our preparation is to manage our security and our criminal landscape. That is part of our preparation. So that is why you will expect this year a lot of operations to be done.
Public safety tops their priority list.
Yeah, the police should be more aware of the situation around us.
One thing that is important is the service provided by the Fiji police force. I think they should work hard to protect the people and make sure they exercise their right to vote.
The police force has already presented its election operation plan to government. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
There is a growing demand for medical transfers from Northern Subdivision health centres and nursing stations to the Lambasa Hospital. North Medical Superintendent Chauchi Vulimbedi says with the new ambulance providing a 24-hour service, many sick children and labouring mothers from interior areas can now be reached. Kelly Vadala reports.
More than $150,000 has been given by the Japanese government to the Lambasa Divisional Hospital to ensure there is sufficient transportation for emergency cases.
Ambulance services on the other side of the island looks at the area that are being basically not on Tahsil Road. Sometimes we have an emergency case, usually labor earlier before that.
Vulimbedi adds that the old ambulance burdened the hospital with its repairs and maintenance costs due to poor road conditions.
Government is doing Tahsiling on the other side, but this is for the other area. We cannot Tahsil there, so this will help be able to sit down properly in an ambulance and then travel all the way to Lambasa.
Japanese ambassador to Fiji Masahiro Umura says the funds are part of their grant assistance for grassroots human security projects program and is in line with government's objectives.
The project for provision for ambulance to Lambasa Divisional Hospital is our continued contribution to the health sector in Fiji. I wish to commend the recipient organizations by acknowledging your important role in saving lives.
Meanwhile, the government is aware of the challenges faced by Fijians living in the north and are working with relevant authorities to upgrade roads and provide the services needed. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
Fish preservation in the district of Kumbalao has now been made much more convenient. A new ice plant donated by the Korean International Cooperation Agency has been opened to the public in Bua. Eleanor Rangaivu with this report.
For years, fishermen in this part of Bua have to travel to Nambowalu, Sawu-Sawu or Lambasa to get their ice for their catch. Now they have a new ice plant located at the Kumbalao government station.
It's now easier for us to come and get our ice for our catch. We don't have to pay fare and travel to buy the ice. We will just walk to the plant now.
For the women who fish for daily consumption or to sell at the market, they've always used traditional methods of fish preservation. The ice plant gives them another convenient option.
We, the people of Kumbulau, notice the difference when we have our own ice plant. Before, we use traditional methods to conserve fish overnight, and that is time-consuming.
Opening the new ice plant yesterday, Prime Minister Vorengem Bainimarama thanked the Korean International Cooperation Agency for their generosity, which he says will directly impact fishermen and their families in the province of Bua.
Our local fishermen will no longer have to go to urban areas to store their catch, which will eliminate waste and noticeably increase their individual revenues. My government is particularly focused on preserving our fishing industry here in Fiji, as these plants would be useless if there were no fish in our reefs to fill them.
The new ice plant has the capacity to produce 500 kilograms of ice daily. Eleanor Turangaibiu, FBC News.
More villages in rural remote areas of Vanua Levu are now getting piped water. 3 boreholes were commissioned by Prime Minister Vorengem Bainimarama in Kumbulau during the first day of his tour of the Northern Division. Eleanor Turangaibiu again with the story.
Water, one of the basic necessities of life, yet hard to find in most parts of the rural remote areas of Vanua Levu. The sighting of a new water source and subsequent installation of a borehole system to supply water directly to villages is always a cause of celebration.
We acknowledge the government for their support in assisting us with the supply of water, which is a need for us, and it will help us in minimizing diseases caused from drinking water from other supplies, and it is a great help for our children.
In villages, the women and young ones mostly have to find and gather water for use at home. Most still draw water from wells and use man-made ponds for bathing.
There is a water source a few meters from the village, but it's a mixture of seawater and fresh water, and we can only get water if it's low tide. So I thank this government for the help they have given us.
The villages of Waisa, Natokalau and Nasaisaiwa in the district of Kumbulau in Bua now each have boreholes that will supply water 24/7 to their homes to use for cooking, drinking, washing and bathing.
These new boreholes in these villages will cut down time spent in those communities finding and gathering water. It's no secret that it is often women and young people who spend time carrying out that vital work.
The Mineral Resources Department installed the 3 boreholes. According to Lands and Mineral Resources Minister Fayaz Koya, each of the system cost them roughly $36,000.
The major cost on it is really just the solar paneling. And the reticulation sometimes it takes a little bit, because it may be that the borehole is up on the mountain, so one of the villages it's up on the mountain, it's about a kilometer away from the village.
Koya adds, in order for villagers to get boreholes, the Mineral Resources Department first identifies which village needs water and checks for any available water sources before the installation works begin. Eleanor Turangaibiu, FBC News.
The Fijian Elections Office has again stressed that there is no requirement to divide Fijians based on ethnicity or race when they come to vote. Opening of the Voter Services Centre in Rakiraki this morning, Electoral Commissioner Simeone Nainduki said that under the 2013 Constitution, the entire nation is a single constituency.
The multinational observers for 2014 found this to be a very positive element for Fiji. That is why we do not ask you about your race or ethnicity when you raise. It is irrelevant information as far as the electoral system is concerned.
Still to come, after years of child abuse, victims step forward. And PAFCO struggles to supply demanding markets. Stay with us.
Bula, kera mai singatoka, kera ndo talita kana varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and ndo moi viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon mo tikola ndo talita kana Radio Fiji 1 kina ndo moi viti.
Kaya kuya zo silil tale, nagurara mai na omanyi, nandonga. Gitu talita gini ang gitu Venezuela, nagudurong barong na Radio Fiji 1 nandume viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 nandume viti na bonga ni BNN.
All students of the Ami Chandra Memorial Primary School in Lautoka will resume classes from tomorrow. The National Fire Authority and the police have completed preliminary investigations into the cause of the fire that broke out last Saturday. The Education Ministry in a statement says all areas of the school grounds damaged by the fire have been appropriately fenced off and additional measures have been put in place to ensure the safety of students and teachers. The ministry says there is adequate space within the undamaged school buildings for students in years 1, 2 and 3 to attend classes. No temporary shelters or tents are necessary. The ministry has supplied 130 desks and chairs, textbooks, stationeries, milk and Weet-Bix to replenish items destroyed in the fire. NGO Lifeline Fiji received more than 20 calls last year from adults who claimed they were sexually abused during their childhood. According to the analysis done by the NGO, these callers grew up with their trauma, and it's now affecting the way they treat their own families. Sainyan Imboila reports.
Lifeline Fiji has discovered that calls received on their crisis line also include seeking counseling to help control emotions for callers who were sexually abused at a very young age.
We even have callers calling in now who have been abused as a child. So when we look at sexual abuse in a child, holistically the child is affected physically, mentally and psychologically. And if there's no intervention, post-intervention done with the child in an empowerment process to support the child for recovery, the future of the child will always be impacted.
While commenting on the discovery, Save the Children Fiji Chief Executive Iris Lowe Mackenzie says it's important to better know our children and their needs as they go through the development stages.
Do not also provide the inadequate or they provide inadequate affection